Guys, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today we're going to take a walk around a Sure-Trac 8.5 by 20 9,900 pound GVW Landscape Pro trailer. This is part of Sure-Trac's enclosed car hauler series designed for professionals. So while some things are similar, there's actually quite a few upgrades that go onto this Landscape Pro. And then once we get inside the back door, I'll show you the one option, or two options I should say, that we add to this particular unit. Let's take a look at the front of the trailer, work our way to the back, show you all the options. This unit is set up for a heavy-duty commercial, high-duty cycle user. So starting out up front, it's got a 2 5/16 inch cast adjustable on a 6-hole adjustable channel, reinforced back to the frame. It's got a 7,000 pound setback drop leg jack. If you're not familiar, this has an inner sleeve that's going to drop down to the ground and an outer sleeve that's going to adjust via the top line handle. No need to ever carry around cribbing or similar with a unit like this. So this has a plus 6 inch extended tongue, and then also the adjustable coupler gets you roughly another 5 inches. Unit like this would be ideal for most any standard pickup truck. May also work with stake body, but again, you'd have to take some measurements. It's designed with the commercial high duty cycle user in mind. There's a lot of different trucks with a lot of different overhangs, but most of your trucks, this will work. You'll notice even your widest trucks, you would need about 4 foot, give or take, a clear span, because most trucks aren't going to be wider than 8 foot. So again, you got quite a lengthy tongue there. The radius front gives you decent usable space inside without having a V-nose come out that you'd have to worry about hitting should you jackknife this. And certainly a landscape professional trailer, you're going to be jackknifing this at some point or another. 7 wire RV blade style plug standard. Notice it is dual prong connection with an integrated plug holder. Wiring is sealed, jacketed, ran in frame, grommeted. Breakaway battery. Notice it's also inside the A-frame. Now speaking of, this actually isn't an A-frame. It's actually a triple tube tongue, which would be your A-frame with the third cross member running back to center. Ties together your jack, and then also at the other end of the triple tube, it's gusseted to a tubular header. You also notice up front, it's got a full height 2 foot stone guard. Also has a 3 inch bottom trim. A lot of times you'll see a 1 inch. There's lags in the trim, not trim screws. It's also mitered. It's a fully trimmed stone guard on this. Notice it's got extra lags in the front there. Finished corners are standard. Also on the Landscape Pro, you got extra marker lights top center. This does have the newer style bullet LED lights. It's got side flow-through vents for cross ventilation. So you got top, front, driver side, and bottom, rear, passenger side. The exterior of the trailer is very clean. This is a screwless exterior. It's an 030. Do a lot of these in white. Other colors are available, but we do most of these for stock in white. Just a nice, cool color if you're working out of the trailer. A lot of your work trucks also seem to come in white. So this is an 080 one-piece extruded roof cove. Sometimes you'll see 030 and it'll be seamed. So take a look there. Also, little details. They double lag the corner there. There's also a metal backer behind that. I've seen some come up over time. Normally there's no backer back there. They just have a single and it can't hold. 5,200 pound axles are standard. These are also torsion axles, not spring. If you get up close and don't see any hangers in the middle, it's because it's torsion. Torsion mounts directly to the frame, actually gives you additional structural cross members to the trailer. Very durable suspension. Torsion's actually been out a lot longer than I realized. We had a customer replace an axle. It's about 35, 40 years old. It's been around quite a while. Some call it rubber ride. Very durable suspension. There you can see a little better. There's no springs in between. Easy way to tell it's torsion. This is a 225/75 R15 load range D 8-ply radial tire. Wanted to point out the nitrogen cap there. Tire is filled with nitrogen. Help keep the tire from dry rotting from the inside out. Nitrogen's a very dry air. It's also a 6-lug wheel. Aluminum wheels are standard on this. Also has the newer style FSA, or forward self-adjusting brakes. Similar to a car, it will self-tension throughout the life of the pad. Very minimal maintenance required on this type system. Behind the cap on the center of the axle, there's an Easy Lube hub as well. Easy Lube's been around a while. Very simple to do your own bearing maintenance on this particular trailer. So sticker heads underneath the trailer here. I want to show you the wiring I was speaking of. So a couple things. One, wiring's all junction boxed. Everything's undercoated underneath. You'll notice that the header is tube, not formed. You'll notice a lot of manufacturers, if they have a header, will be formed like so, not tube like this one. You got gusset plates on this end, and again, big gusset plate in this corner. Also, the outriggers on this particular unit are made from tube, just like the header. Unlike a lot of manufacturers will use outriggers that are made out of formed. So on a heavy-duty landscape trailer where you got a lot of wall load, that's important. You also notice the torsion axles I was talking about earlier. Every once in a while, I get a customer to say your axles are bent. Certainly on these, you want camber to your axles. The axles are designed to have a little bit of bend, just like a bridge, to handle that additional load. So again, heavy-duty tube outriggers are definitely a key difference that we appreciate for heavy-duty users like this Landscape Pro that helps support. So you got a 7-foot frame, roughly 9-inch outrigger on either side. All that wall load, all that roof load, all comes down onto that. At the rear of the trailer, a couple key differences on the Landscape Pro. One, it's got a Super Duty ramp standard. You'll notice there's 7 of what I call the wider hinges. They measure roughly 10-11 inches apiece. Notice they all have grease zerks on them for serviceability. Also standard, you'll notice the rear door has trim on it. A lot of times I see that exposed steel. Has 2 grab handles instead of 1, and also notice they're aluminum, not plastic. This has made in the USA Flexco hardware. Just seems to work a lot better than some of the imported hardware that we oftentimes see. Also on the bar lock, you'll notice this has security door hats on it that actually cover your hardware for the door. So again, makes it a little bit harder for somebody to get into your trailer. Also, stop turn tail lights, and then now new for 2021, backup lights are also standard equipment. Of course, your bullet LED clearance lights. And then also you'll notice extra bumpers on this. It has 5 bumpers going across the top rear of the trailer to help keep that door from getting damaged. And again, the outtake for the side flow-through vents designed for the cross ventilation. RV style door, not a strap hinge door, gives a little cleaner look. Has a metal handle, not a plastic handle. Also has a metal door holdback, not a plastic on it. A lot of times manufacturers will build their own doors in-house. It'll be a little strap hinge door, doesn't look quite as clean. And then the ones that use the RV door, sometimes you'll see a plastic handle. It's a little bit nicer metal handle. A lot of upgrades on this trailer standard. So going back to the rear door, I'm going to show you the 2 options that are on this unit. One of them we put on all of them. The second one we put on some of them. So the unit door kind of glided down. So the 2 options that I wanted to show you, one is the semi-cableless. Now I call it semi because it still does come out on the ramp, just not as far. Comes out roughly 2 foot on roughly a 6-foot door. So again, we call this a semi-cableless. You can get it on just one side or you can get it on both. This one's shown with both. And again, you'll notice it just doesn't come out as far on the door. And we have customers that really don't want spring cables coming all the way to the end of the door, that they got to worry about a guy it's going to hit that, and then the liability potentially of it recoiling and hurting somebody. So again, the dual semi-cableless is an option on this. Can get it in just one side, shown here with both. Also, other standard equipment, the knife edge into the end of the ramp. So it's not visible to the outside of the ramp, but it is on the inside. It's actually got structure behind there. Every, I'm gonna say roughly 18 inches or so on center, there's a cross member behind there. It's actually got structure going all the way across. Got diamond plate, gives you a little better traction. I've seen one or two others kind of copy this style design, but normally they're smooth plate. Tread plate gives it a little nicer look and potentially a little bit more traction there. Pressure treated on the ramp door. Again, being a Super Duty ramp, not only does it have extra hinges, but it's got some extra studs in the door assembly. Just to give you an idea, this ramp door assembly, got to be careful giving numbers because there's a little bit more to it than just a black and white number, but the Super Duty ramp's rated to about a little over 5,000 pounds on a standard height. You just got to watch. Sometimes guys will have a single axle equipment, which is going to be a little heavier than tandem axle equipment, and then sometimes you have one axle on the ramp at a time, sometimes you have two, but certainly more than enough ramp door for what the average guy's going to use this for, which would be a commercial landscape rig. Even for a high duty cycle user, don't have to worry about the ramp flap transition busting off on these over time. Second option we option on this would be the plank flooring that you see here. This is a 2x6 pressure treated plank. This is very durable, much more so than a 3/4 ply. One big thing this also allows you to do, it allows the trailer to breathe a little better. This trailer was just built, so it's got pretty tight, but of course as it dries out a little bit over time, you get some gappage there, and that'll allow some air intake for the roof outtake. So again, the pressure treated floor is an upgrade. Standard on these would be a 12-inch on center cross member with the 3/4 pressure treated plywood. We've upgraded to the 2x6. Powder coated fender boxes are standard. You'll notice in front and behind you've got roughly a 12-inch by 3/4 inch kick plate. You've also got line trimmer racks standard on the driver's side wall. Notice a residential style switch. You've got 2 dome lights and 2 roof vents on the ceiling standard. That's a tubular roof bow, 16-inch on center. Above the bow would be a reflective insulation thermocool ceiling liner. Above that would be a one-piece aluminum roof. Little detail Sure-Trac does, if you look at the seams on these, you'll notice there's flat at the seams so that it can't come down through. Also, if I can find a dome light, the dome lights are grommeted where they go through frame. Another feature on the Landscape Pro, this is a flat studded wall, so it's a radius front. You certainly can't have a basket or shelves very easily to that. So they flat stud it, finish it out, give you a choice of a shelf or a workbench. We go generally with the workbench. I think you'll see this is a pretty quality piece. Generally a little bit nicer than we think than what a shelf would be. So 2 pins, you can do it even with one hand. Just lay it down. You can put your gas cans or whatnot in there, or you can lay it down and you got a mobile workbench. All powder coated, all steel, punch plate design, fairly lightweight, fairly durable, good looking setup. It's got supports underneath. Kick plate goes underneath. On the walls, you've got a 3/8 birch, very clean look. It's got the aluminum H mold. That was new for a year or two ago. Gives it a very sleek interior look. You also notice it's trimmed out with aluminum trim at the top. All your wiring's concealed behind there. Again, the side door on these is an RV style door. It's a foam filled, solid. Has a bar lock, and then also your outside handle. It's got a residential style 12 volt dim light switch. Again, roof vents. If for whatever reason you ever wanted AC or similar, if you wanted a powered vent fan, you just pop that one out, change it to what you want. Again, 2 lights, standard. There's your pressure treated floor. We do keep some gridiron hardware in stock, so you get the line trimmer rack standard. If you want other stuff, we do keep a handful of the gridiron hardware in stock. Trailer's 6'6" inside height. It's going to give you a net usable through to the door of about 6 foot. Also, side to side, these are called an 8.5. 8.5 would actually count the fenderette. Sidewalls are about 8'4". Between spring cables, roughly, you're about normally right around 7 foot width. So even if you have 6-foot decks, you should be able to get them in no problem. Trailer like this is going to weigh in the upper threes. Going to give you a net legal payload of about 6,000 pounds. Also, you're going to pick up some tongue weight. So even though this is a 9,900 pound GVW, this actually has a lot of the structure that would come on a 14,000 GVW. So on this particular one, you've got gussets in the corners, top, bottom, front, back. Each of the wall studs have a little gusset at the bottom. Also, you've got X bracing in the sidewalls for some added durability. There's a lot behind the walls on these you can't see. I did show you a little bit up front. You've got the tubular header, you've got the gussets in the corners, and then you've got gussets on either side of that triple tube tongue. And then you've also got the 12-inch on center floor stud upgrade. So again, even though it is a 9,900 pound GVW, you've got the majority of the structure of a 14,000 pound trailer here, designed for a high duty cycle user. So we do keep these in a handful of configurations. This would be one of the more basic Landscape Pros. Primarily the only option that wouldn't normally be ordered this way would be the dual semi-cableless. We do generally put the plank flooring on most of ours. If you look at our other videos and our other listings on our website of available inventory, we do also sometimes have this in stock in what we call Brickman spec with all the bells and whistles. If you take a look at that one, it's got 3 key add-ons. This one don't have it. It has a fuel tank up front. It's got an aluminum, completely cableless door at the rear, and then it's got a lot of hardware inside. So if you're a fleet commercial user, you want some high quality stuff, take a look at this Landscape Pro or take a look at our Brickman spec Landscape Pro. If you have any questions, give us a ring, 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.